Brazil is eager to get its manufacturing sector back on track and boost the economy. But the latest data has been disappointing. For the latest update on Brazil's industrial sector, we're now joined by Paulo Cabral, live from São Paulo.
Yes, the HSBC Bank has released today its PMI for Brazil. It's the Purchase Managers Index. It's a figure that gauges the confidence of the market and particularly the industrial sector through the perceptions of 400 business executives. And this figure is down to 50.8 in April against 51.8 in March. It's still positive, actually. I mean, anything above 50 means expansion, anything below 50 means contraction, but barely so. Tomorrow also Brazil's National Statistics Bureau is expected to release the data on the industrial output for the month of April, so more consistent analysis will be possible. But the thing is that with the international crisis, all eyes are all the time on economic data, always looking for signs of recovery or of more problems. For example, recently there was a spike in consumer credit default that was the cause of some concern. These are the offices of São Paulo's Commercial Association Credit Protection Service. People come here to negotiate their debts when they are unable to pay their creditors. Over the last few years, it's become a familiar place to a growing number of Brazilians. In March, the consumer credit default rose significantly after a few months of reduction in the rates. With Brazil's unemployment and interest rates near record lows, economists say many consumers were on a shopping spree last year and are now faced with paying the bills. The chief economist of São Paulo Commercial Association says loan delinquency rates are still high, but are expected to go down over the next few months.
Scores of people have already learned how to manage their debts, and many learn the hard way. But there are always newcomers joining the market who will need to go through this learning curve. But little by little, we notice there is an effort of financial education, including in schools.
There are many private schools like this one in São Paulo already offering financial education classes.
We believe it's important to introduce financial education to children as a way of raising responsible and sustainable citizens who will know how to use money in an effective and efficient way without falling into the traps of exaggerated consumption, which are so common today.
The children are the future of any country, and here in Brazil, many believe if children grow up as adults who can manage their finances properly, the society as a whole can only gain. Actually, access to credit is something relatively new to a large part of the population here. It only became widely available over the last decade as the economy grew, the wages went up, and many more people could access the consumer market. So, in many senses, the country and its population are still adapting to the situation, learning how to deal with credit.
Paulo, you say it's new, but I can tell you here, it's old. It's a big problem. I mean, that's what got into this mess the last couple of years, is really too much debt. Is there some concerns that perhaps Brazil might be entering that same problem as well?
Well, of course, there is always this concern, but the situation still is very much different in Brazil because credit reached a part of the population, so there is a portion of the middle class and even the new lower middle class that's now having problems to repay their debts. But what the industry believes is that there is still a large part of the Brazilian population that only still minds about the day-to-day abuse and are still potential customers for the credit market. So what people say is that given that there is economic growth, if economic growth comes, there is still much room for the credit industry to grow before it reaches the same kind of ceiling that it reached in Europe or in the United States.
All right. Always good advice. Be careful with your money. Paulo Cabral, São Paulo, thank you very much.